They feed you poison every day, not through your mouth, but through your mind. And they do it with a smile. They do it through convenience. They do it through the screen you can't stop looking at. Not because it feeds your soul, but because it keeps your mind sedated. Every headline is engineered to trigger fear. Every scroll injects you with envy, insecurity, and false desire. Every image, every soundbite, every trend whispers into your subconscious, you're not enough. You're behind. You should want this. You're broken. Consume more. Be less. And you don't even realize it, because it's disguised as entertainment. But the truth is, you're being programmed, hijacked, hacked. Your focus is the battlefield. Your attention is the currency. And every day you wake up and surrender it to the system without even questioning it. You just consume it, mindlessly, habitually, as if you have no choice. Like junk food for the brain. You're stuffing your mental diet with processed pain, manufactured distractions, and synthetic desires. It tastes good for a moment, but it leaves you spiritually starved, empty, weak, disconnected from your true self. And then you wonder why your reality never changes, why you feel lost even when you're surrounded by things, why manifestation feels like a cruel joke, something that works for them, but not for you, why your vision, your power, your calling always feels like it's one step away, locked behind a fog that never lifts. You chase more, you scroll more, you compare more, but it only feeds the infection. And here's the truth the weak will never tell you. Your reality is not built with your hands. It's forged in your thoughts. And if your mind is a landfill, don't expect to grow a garden in it. You can't manifest gold from a sewer. You can't build an empire on mental quicksand. You can't step into the future when your mind is shackled to mental trash from yesterday. Your thoughts are the soil. Your focus is the water. Your habits are the sun. What you feed it, you become. Every single time. You don't become great by chance. You become great by choice. By guarding what enters your mind as fiercely as a warrior guards a sacred temple. By choosing mental nutrition over distraction. Discipline over dopamine. Truth over noise. So if you want manifestation to work, if you want to command reality instead of being crushed by it, then it begins with a daily detox. Not once, not occasionally, daily. Rituals, sacred, ruthless, non-negotiable. Because the filth comes every day, so your cleansing must too. You have to clean out the mental parasites, the unexamined beliefs, the broken thought loops, the habitual negativity. You must starve the illusions and feed the truth. Because you don't rise by accident. You rise through intention. And intention must be guarded like a flame in a storm, with both hands, with your entire being. Because the moment you stop guarding it, the storm of the world will extinguish it. And without that flame, you lose your vision. You lose your edge. You lose you. So don't just detox once. Live in detox. Be the filter. Be the gatekeeper. Let no thought pass without permission. Let no narrative live unless it serves your purpose. Let no fear survive unless it teaches you how to conquer. This is not about comfort. This is about control. Mental control. And if you don't take it, someone else already has. But the second you realize that, you can take it back. You can cleanse the fog. You can redirect the current. You can rewire the loop. And you can build, again, clean mind, sharp vision, bulletproof focus. And with that, you don't just manifest your reality, you command it, because you have become the master of the source, your mind. And that's where it all begins. That's where you begin. Law 1. Guard the gates. What enters your mind shapes your reality. This is where it all begins. This is where most people lose the battle, before they even realize a war is being waged. Let me ask you something. Would you let a criminal stroll into your home and live there rent-free? Would you let a liar whisper in your ear while you sleep? Would you hand the keys of your kingdom to someone who wants to see it burn? No? Then why do you let garbage, mental, emotional, digital garbage, into your mind without a fight? Why do you let fear propaganda, gossip, low-frequency content, and mindless distractions set up camp in your most sacred place, your inner world? Because make no mistake, your mind is sacred. Your thoughts are weapons, and your focus is the front line. But you treat it like a dump. You wake up, and the first thing you do is scroll. Before your feet hit the ground, your mental fortress has already been breached. Your attention hijacked. Your energy siphoned. Your focus infected by 1,000 meaningless narratives that have nothing to do with your purpose. And the worst part, you think it's normal, because everyone else is doing it. But the masses are not your blueprint. The masses are asleep. And if you model yourself after the asleep, you will never awaken the power that was meant for you. The truth they don't want you to know. You are being programmed. Right now, every moment, by what you see, by what you hear, by what you allow. There are people whose full-time job is to manipulate your perception, to fracture your clarity, to distract you from your path. Because a focused mind is a dangerous weapon. But a distracted one, that's a tool, a slave, a pawn. And if you don't guard the gates, they'll walk right in and rearrange your entire reality without you even knowing it. Guarding the gates means living like a mental Spartan. You don't allow everything in just because it's popular. You don't give everyone access to your inner sanctuary just because they're loud. You filter everything, ruthlessly. You protect your mental space like it's a war room. Because it is. Every word, every headline, every post, every soundbite is either sharpening you or sedating you. So tell me, who's living inside your head right now? Your enemies, your doubts, your ex, your fears, your failures. Evict them. Today. Now create a mental fortress. Let me break it down. Here's what guarding the gates really looks like in your daily life, your profession, and your finances. 1. No entry without purpose. Before anything is allowed into your mind, ask, does this serve my mission? If the answer isn't a clear yes, it's a no. No to the gossip. No to the negativity. No to the emotional clickbait. You must be unreasonably selective, because one contaminated thought can derail an entire day. One seed of doubt can stall years of momentum. And if you think you're strong enough to just scroll a little, you've already lost. 2. Command the first and last hour. The first hour of your day is your launch pad. The last hour is your programming. These windows are sacred. And if you allow noise during these times, you're writing your failure into code. Wake up into silence. Command your thoughts. Speak your truth out loud. Read. Move. Create. Visualize. At night, review your victories. Extract your lessons. And rewire the subconscious through affirmations and reflection. These are not routines. They are rituals of war. 3. Audit your environment. Like a king cleans his castle. If your environment doesn't match your ambition, it must be destroyed or rebuilt. Unfollow what drains you. Mute what manipulates you. Block what distracts you. People say, that's harsh. No, it's necessary. You can't afford to keep snakes in the garden just because they used to be your pets. This applies to your physical space too. Declutter. Organize. Eliminate distractions. Your outer world mirrors your inner world. 4. Build a guard team. No king protects a kingdom alone. You need allies. Not yes men. Not energy vampires. Warriors. Surround yourself with people who challenge your thinking, respect your focus, and honor your vision. People who speak life, not death. People who feed your flame, not smother it. Choose proximity over popularity. The wrong crowd will program you for mediocrity before you even notice. 5. Speak the password daily. Words are locks, but they're also keys. Start your day by speaking power. I am focused. I am sovereign. I am the gatekeeper of my reality. And then act accordingly. No one gets in unless they match that frequency. Not a thought, not a person, not a narrative. Why this law matters in your finances and profession. In your career, distraction is disguised as productivity. Meetings, notifications, urgent but meaningless tasks. You need to kill the noise and guard the gate of execution. Do only what builds. Cut everything that doesn't. In your finances, guarding your gates means filtering what you believe about money. You were programmed to think wealth is hard, that you're not worthy, that only the elite deserve it. But that's not truth. It's mental malware. Clear it out. Feed yourself with new truths. Study wealth daily, and let no broke mindset survive inside your mind. The war cry of the gatekeeper. Nothing enters my mind without my permission. No thought passes unless it serves. I am the filter. I am the sword. I am the gatekeeper. You want success? You want peace? You want manifestation to bend to your will? Then guard your gates like your destiny depends on it. Because it does. Law 2. Reject mental junk food. Your thoughts are your fuel. Garbage in, garbage out. Let's make something clear. You will never build a warrior's life with a beggar's mindset. You will never forge steel discipline from sugar-coated thoughts. And you will never manifest power while binging on mental poison. The truth is simple, brutal, and ignored by the masses. Your mind becomes what it consumes. You don't just think thoughts, you become them. Thoughts create patterns. Patterns create behavior. Behavior becomes identity. Identity creates destiny. So ask yourself, what have you been feeding your mind? Is it strength or sedation, growth or garbage? If you're like most people, your mind is malnourished. Not from a lack of calories, but from a lack of quality. From overdosing on the wrong ideas. From living on a diet of fear, scarcity, gossip, blame, and distraction. It's not always obvious. That's the trap. Because mental junk food is engineered to feel good going down. Just like real junk food. It tastes good in the moment. It fills the emptiness. It's easy. It's cheap. But it makes you sick, bloated, tired, foggy. And eventually you forget what being sharp even feels like. What is mental junk food? It's not just what you see. It's what you tolerate. It's what you repeat. It's what you think on autopilot when no one's watching. Mental junk food looks like comparing your life to strangers on social media, engaging in petty arguments over things that don't serve your mission, listening to people who gave up on their dreams tell you how to live, replaying past failures like a broken record, worrying about things outside your control, focusing on what's missing instead of what's possible. It feels harmless, but it's a slow death. Because every bite of that garbage becomes a brick in the prison of your identity. Until one day, you can't move. Not because your legs are broken, but because your mind is. You've become mentally obese. And now, just the thought of taking action feels like lifting mountains. That's what junk food does. Rejecting, it isn't optional. It's survival. You were not born to be average. You were not designed to be distracted, addicted, and numb. You were built for war. But war demands clarity. War demands stamina. War demands mental purity. And junk thoughts, they make you slow, weak, undisciplined. They rob your edge. They dull your sword. They confuse your compass until you don't even know what you're chasing anymore. Rejecting mental junk food isn't a cute productivity tip. It's war protocol. It's how you return to your original blueprint. It's how you become dangerous again. How to starve the poison. Here's how you build a warrior's mind by starving what's toxic and feed in what's true. 1. Clean out the pantry. What's in your daily diet of thought and content? Be honest. Every platform you scroll, every podcast you hear, every conversation you entertain is either building your fortress or burning it down. You don't need a digital detox. You need a mental purge. Action. Audit your apps. Remove 80% of what adds no value. Audit your follows. Eliminate anyone who fuels comparison, fear, or fluff. Audit your thoughts. Catch every disempowering loop and cut it off at the root. If it doesn't serve the vision, it's trash. 2. Fast to reclaim focus. The mind is like the body. It needs time to reset. Just as fasting gives your body time to heal, mental fasting gives your focus time to reclaim its sovereignty. No input, no noise, just silence, stillness, reconnection, action. Implement a no-input hour daily. No music, no phones, no content, no conversations. Once per week, do a mental reset day. No social media, no outside opinions, just you and your mission. Use this time to think, plan, move, and remember who you are beneath the programming. Your clarity is buried beneath the noise. Dig it out. 3. Feed on mental superfoods. You've rejected the junk. Now replace it with weapons-grade fuel. The best content doesn't entertain. It reprograms. It breaks your mental framework. It demands more from you. It hurts in the best way. Start feeding on material that builds power, not passivity. Action. Study mindset, finance, business, stoicism, spiritual truth, and elite performance daily. Memorize truths that strengthen your identity and repeat them aloud. Write down affirmations that feel like weapons. Say them until you believe them. If you wouldn't serve a thought to a warrior, don't serve it to yourself. How this law applies to your profession and finances. In your profession, junk thoughts manifest as procrastination masked as research, perfectionism masquerading as high standards, overwhelm from trying to do everything instead of the essential. You waste hours on email, on trends, on things that make you feel busy, but produce nothing. You consume success stories instead of writing your own. You fall into productivity porn instead of executing with ruthless precision. To kill junk thoughts in business, focus only on income-producing actions. Eliminate all tasks that don't build value. Block time for deep work. No distractions, no excuses. In your finances, junk thoughts are the virus in your wealth operating system. I'm just not good with money. I'm not ready to invest yet. People like me don't get rich. Wealth is evil. I'll save later. I don't deserve it yet. All lies. All programmed. All keeping you poor. Reject them. Replace them with power thoughts like, I multiply money because I understand value. I attract wealth by becoming disciplined. I respect every dollar and command it with strategy. I don't serve money. I make it serve me. When your thoughts about money change, so will your bank account. Final words. Become the mental assassin. You must become lethal with what you allow. You must treat each thought like a virus that could destroy the system. You must feed on wisdom, starve weakness, and fast from all that fogs your mind. Mental junk food is everywhere. It's seductive. It's addictive. But once you taste clarity, once you feel that sharpness return, you'll never go back. So reject it all. The envy, the noise, the fear, the excuses, the fog. Because only a clean mind can carry a high frequency, and only a high frequency can pull the future into the present. You are not a consumer anymore. You are a creator, a gatekeeper, a weapon. Feed yourself accordingly. Law 3. Build daily detox rituals. Your mind is under daily attack. Your defense must be daily too. You don't rise to your vision once in a while. You rise to it every single day, or you sink. This is what most people will never tell you. Transformation is not some massive, one-time event. It's not one breakthrough. It's not one seminar. It's not one motivational video at midnight. It's the tiny, consistent, brutal rituals you repeat when no one's watching. It's what you do when you don't feel like it. It's the unseen hours that cleanse your mind, purify your spirit, and sharpen your soul. Because your mind is a battlefield, and war doesn't wait. The world throws trash at you every day. Notifications, opinions, drama, doubt, noise, temptation. Every time you walk outside or open your phone, you're wading through a mental wasteland. And if you're not detoxing daily, you're collecting that poison like a sponge. You begin the day with your vision clear, but by midday, it's blurry. By nightfall, it's buried under nonsense. And you wonder why nothing changes. It's because your rituals are weak or non-existent. But if you knew what was really at stake, you'd treat these daily practices like a warrior treats his weapon. Sacred, essential, lifeline. Why daily rituals matter more than discipline alone. Discipline is what you do. Ritual is who you become. Discipline says, I must. Ritual says, this is what I do. No negotiation, no excuse, no variation. Ritual is identity in action. And detox rituals aren't for the faint of heart. They're for those who understand. The cleaner your mind, the clearer your power, the faster your manifestation. You don't build your future from a cluttered place. You build it from alignment. And that alignment is forged through fire. Daily. Your core detox rituals. Here's how to create a mental, emotional, and energetic cleansing system that keeps you sharp, stable, and sovereign. 1. The Morning Fortress. Command your reality before the world infects it. The first moments of your day determine the frequency of your future. You can either wake up into chaos and let the world decide who you are, or you can wake up into sovereignty and build your day with intentional force. No phone, no notifications, no noise. Wake up and go inward. Before the world speaks to you, speak to your own soul. Action steps. Get up before the world. Even 5 a.m. The silence is your kingdom. Breathe deeply. Stretch or move with purpose. Read or recite high-frequency affirmations. Visualize your next-level life with absolute clarity. Speak gratitude out loud. Not just to be thankful, but to activate power. This is your mental armor. Don't walk into battle without it. Second midday check-in. Clean up the emotional clutter you picked up in the chaos. By midday, you've been exposed to stress, noise, temptation, distraction. Even if you're strong, that residue builds up. You need to pause, reset, recalibrate. Not for luxury, for survival. Action steps. Set a timer or alarm midday. Step away. Breathe. Ask, what am I carrying that's not mine? Release what isn't aligned. Speak a new focus into your being. Return to your work with restored clarity and precision. A warrior doesn't stay in the mud. He steps back, sharpens his blade, and returns cleaner, deadlier. 3. The nightly purge. Reset your subconscious before it programs your future. Your subconscious doesn't sleep. It works overnight. And what you give it before bed becomes the blueprint it builds from while you dream. So don't feed it chaos, comparison, news, or noise. Don't fall asleep with your phone in your hand and confusion in your soul. Fall asleep like a weapon, clean, focused, aligned. Action steps. Shut down electronics 30 minutes before bed. Journal your thoughts. Release what must go. Visualize the version of you who already has the life. Speak truth over your goals. I am already becoming. Sleep with intention, not fatigue. This is how you sleep like a king. Not just tired, but reprogrammed. 4th weekly solitude ritual. Silence is the scalpel that cuts out mental rot. Noise is constant, but power lives in silence. The world will never give you silence. You must take it. You need space to hear the whispers of your higher self. You need silence to detox from the addiction of stimulation. Action steps. Block 1 hour each week for complete solitude. No music, no input, no feedback. Go on a long walk, stare at a wall, sit in stillness. Let your deepest truth surface. This is where clarity is born. Not through hustle, but stillness. And the world fears a man who thinks clearly. How this law transforms your profession and finances. In your profession, daily rituals mean your work isn't reactive. It's ritualistic. You don't check email. You command tasks like a general. You don't see what happens. You set the tone. Create a morning CEO session to plan the day. Use detox time to block out distractions and execute deeply. Track performance, not emotion. Ritual doesn't care how you feel. It only demands consistency. In your finances, rituals separate the broke from the builders. Wealth doesn't grow from occasional budgeting. It grows from ritualized decision-making, daily money tracking, weekly expense reviews, rituals of investment. Automate, analyze, reinvest. Treat each dollar like a soldier. Give it orders. Visualize your financial outcome every night. Let it become real before it's visible. Final words. Ritual is your resurrection. You don't need motivation. You don't need another strategy. You need to wake up and do the thing every single day until it becomes who you are. You don't rise because you got lucky. You rise because you've built a system of resurrection. Daily detox rituals are your reset buttons, your rebirth chamber, your shield against the garbage of the world. Build them like your life depends on them, because it does. No more random days, only sacred ones. No more surviving, only sharpening. You are ritual in motion, and through these rituals, you rise. Law 4. Direct your mental diet toward power. Feed your mind like a warrior feeds for war. Let me be blunt. You cannot become unstoppable if you are still feeding on mediocrity. You cannot command reality if your thoughts are still grazing in mental fast food chains. You cannot build an empire on a diet of weakness. The masses feed their minds like addicts. consuming anything and everything that's easy, sugary, dramatic, and emotionally stimulating. They live on a cycle of mental junk, endless opinions, clickbait, celebrity gossip, short-form nonsense, echo chambers of dopamine. And then they wonder why they're tired, why they're lost, why they can't focus, why their dreams feel like shadows. But a warrior doesn't eat like a beggar. He selects each thought, each word, each influence, like choosing ammunition for a mission. Because what you consume, you become. And you can't expect power to emerge from garbage. The truth about consumption: everything you read, listen to, watch, and say to yourself is either fuel or fog. It's either sharpening your blade or dulling it. And here's the problem. Most people don't realize their diet is killing them. Not their physical body, but their vision, their self-belief, their mental edge. They're mentally obese, bloated with content that feels good but changes nothing. They mistake stimulation for growth. But there's a difference between feeling busy and actually becoming better. Stimulation doesn't equal evolution. Only precision does. The warrior's mind needs fuel, not filler. This isn't about positive thinking. This is about lethal thinking. About being so intentional with your mental input that it sculpts your identity into someone who dominates every room they enter. To do that, your mental diet must become a weaponized protocol. Not based on emotion, not based on trends, but based on alignment with your future self. You feed on truth, strategy, conviction, silence, tension, challenge. You read what elevates you. You listen to what disciplines you. You absorb what builds fortress-level focus. You consume information that changes your behavior, not your mood, your behavior. If the content doesn't make you act, it was entertainment, not nutrition. How to construct a mental diet of power. 1. Create an input filter. Only consume what you want to become. This is rule 1. Look at your input like a king hiring generals. Would you hire clowns to command your army? Would you hire fools to shape your legacy? Every book, podcast, video, or mentor you allow in your mind becomes your internal board of directors. Action steps. Ask, if I became the average of the 5 creators I consume most, would I be dangerous or delusional? Replace gossip, noise, and opinion with material that aligns with your zone of power. Finance, mental mastery, entrepreneurship, stoicism, health, strategy. Keep a content log for 30 days. Audit everything. Then eliminate 70% of it. You'll be shocked what you're feeding your mind. If the input doesn't match the outcome, it's off the menu. 2. Fast from weakness. Binge on mastery. Sometimes power isn't about adding more. It's about subtracting. Fasting from the things that subtly destroy you, like short-form addiction, mindless scrolling, motivational noise with no execution behind it. Then you binge on mastery, on real books, on financial frameworks, on lectures from elite minds, on timeless ideas that force your evolution. Action steps. Do a 7-day mental cut. No YouTube shorts, TikToks, or social feeds. Only read or listen to long-form wisdom. Create a weekly theme. 1 area of mastery, 1 author, 1 topic. Go deep, not wide. Choose a monthly power book, one that punches you in the gut and forces you to move. Don't read for escape. Read to evolve. 3. Speak power. Out loud. Your voice is a weapon. It's also your most direct form of programming. When you speak, your subconscious listens. That's why weak people speak in weakness. They talk about problems, They reinforce lack. They narrate victimhood. But warriors speak in power, even when they're bleeding. They speak from the throne, not the pit. Action steps. Create a list of command affirmations, statements that embody your future self. Speak them every morning with force. Write them on your walls, on your mirrors, in your car. When doubt shows up, answer it out loud with power. Never let weakness speak unchallenged. If your voice doesn't match your vision, you're feeding your mind with contradiction. Fourth, practice content precision. You're not trying to stay informed. You're trying to stay aligned. And that means choosing one core truth and drilling it until it becomes automatic behavior. Don't try to learn everything. Master what matters. One concept applied is worth more than 10 concepts remembered. Action steps. Choose your current focus. Finances, health, leadership, discipline. For 30 days, only consume content related to that field. Write down 3 actions from everything you learn and implement within 24 hours. No more passive knowledge, only applied intelligence. How this law elevates your profession in finances. In your profession, this law separates producers from consumers. You either build or you react. A weak mind consumes fluff. A powerful mind builds systems, strategy, and execution. Listen to content that improves your skill stack. Follow creators and mentors who've built what you're building. Study sales, marketing, delegation, leadership, finance. Not for fun, but for war. In your finances, the shift is deadly and immediate. Stop watching crypto hype and get rich quick. YouTubers. Study value investing, budgeting, long-term wealth, cash flow systems. Read one book on wealth every 30 days. Treat money management as spiritual warfare, because that's what it is. Your bank account is the scoreboard of your mental diet. If you think broke thoughts, you will attract broke opportunities. But if you feed on power, financial intelligence, wealth strategies, entrepreneurial systems, you rewire your financial destiny. Final words. You are what you digest. Stop feeding on weakness and wondering why you feel powerless. Stop binging on noise and wondering why you can't hear your own voice. Stop absorbing everyone's truth and wondering why you lost yours. The world is starving for clarity. You get to have it, but only if you eat for it. Only if you build your mental diet like a soldier prepares for battle, with intention, with sharpness, with fire. So remember, you are not just what you think. You are what you feed those thoughts. You are what you rehearse. You are what you absorb. So feed on truth. Feed on strategy. Feed on pain that transforms you. And soon, the world will feed on your results. Law 5. Master the inner dialogue. If you don't command your inner voice, it will become your executioner. There's a voice inside your head. It speaks more to you than anyone else ever will. And most days, you let it speak unchecked, unfiltered, unchallenged. It whispers like a friend, but it strikes like an assassin. It's the voice that tells you to wait, to play small, to doubt your value, to accept crumbs, to break when things get hard. And if you don't learn to command it, it will kill everything inside you before the world even lifts a finger. You don't need external enemies when your inner dialogue is already destroying you. Most people live like prisoners in their own skull, shackled by thoughts they didn't choose, narratives they never questioned, and belief systems they inherited from parents, culture, and pain, not truth. But here's the truth you've been starved of. Your inner voice is not your identity. It is your programming, And all programming can be rewritten, but only by the one who dares to take control of the code. Your inner voice is either a weapon or a warden. It is the voice behind every decision you make. It sets the tone before you act. It interprets every failure. It defines every goal. And if left unchecked, it will filter your entire life through limitation. That voice can either sharpen you or suffocate you. And the difference is not luck. It's leadership. You must lead your inner voice. You must become its commander, not its captive. You must stop listening and start speaking. Not randomly, not emotionally, but with intention, precision, power. You must speak like the future you already exists, because that's how you bring it into being. Why mastering your inner dialogue is the final level of mental discipline. You can guard your gates. You can eliminate mental junk food. You can build daily rituals. You can even consume powerful content. But if you don't command the voice inside, you will always revert to your old identity. It's not just about removing the negative. It's about installing the new. Because if you don't install power, the system will reinstall weakness by default, by inertia, by the weight of your past. Your inner dialogue is the ultimate frontier of self-mastery. And until you conquer it, you will always self-sabotage the very thing you claim to want. How to master the inner dialogue and weaponize it for creation. 1. Audit your mental voice. The first step is to expose it. Shine a light on what's been running the show behind the curtain. You can't fight what you won't face. Action steps. For 3 days, journal your self-talk in real time. Don't edit it. Don't justify it. Just observe it. Highlight anything that sounds like, I can't. I always mess this up. I'll never figure it out. I'm not ready. What if I fail? That's not truth. That's malware. Now imagine if someone else spoke to you like that. Would you take advice from that voice or knock it out? Time to knock it out. 2. Identify the source. That voice didn't come out of nowhere. It was built. Every wound, every rejection, every failure that never got reframed, every authority figure that told you to be realistic, it's all part of the programming. Action steps. Go back. Find the moment where that belief took root. Ask, who gave me this voice? Was it a parent? A bully? A moment of failure? Understand, if someone else gave it to you, it's not yours to keep. That voice isn't truth. It's trauma. It's projection. And it's time to uninstall it. 3. Design your new mental language. Now that you've exposed the virus, you write new code. Not affirmations that feel like lies, but identity declarations backed by action. You don't say, I am confident, and still move like prey. You say it, and then you prove it. That's how the subconscious listens. It listens to repetition with evidence. Action steps. Create 10 power statements that reflect the warrior you are becoming. Examples. I speak with clarity and move with certainty. I create results, not excuses. I am dangerous when focused. I am the architect of my wealth. Read them daily, aloud, with force, with spine. Speak them when you wake. Speak them before you sleep. Speak them when the old voice shows up, until the new voice becomes you. 4th, program through behavior. Words are not enough. You must earn your new voice through action. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your inner voice shifts. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, the voice recalibrates. Every time you act in alignment with your future self, you give your subconscious new data to believe in. Action steps. Set daily non-negotiables that align with your identity. Track every win. Stack small victories. Let your new inner voice evolve from truth, not hype. Consistency rewires identity. Identity rewires destiny. How this law elevates your profession and finances. In your profession, a weak inner voice manifests as imposter syndrome, hesitation before pitching, self-sabotage when momentum builds, tolerating low-value work because I'm not ready for more. But when you master the dialogue, you no longer ask permission. You command respect. You show up early, speak clearly, execute without apology. You stop doubting your authority and start building empires. In your finances, a toxic inner voice says, I'll never understand investing. I don't deserve abundance. I've always been bad with money. I'm just trying to survive. But once you master the voice, it changes to, I command money with discipline. I multiply what I manage. I am building generational wealth on purpose. I don't fear money. I control it. The numbers don't lie. Your finances are a mirror of your inner dialogue. If you speak in scarcity, you will live in scarcity. If you speak in strategy, you will build in strategy. Final words. The voice must be yours. That voice in your head, it's the most powerful force in your life. If it's not mastered, it will manipulate. It will seduce. It will devour. You were never meant to be its victim. You were meant to be its king, its commander, its programmer. No more letting it run wild. No more submitting to the old script. From now on, you speak. It obeys. You decide the narrative. You set the tone. You burn the old language and write new laws in fire. Because a man who commands his inner voice can command anything. Law 6. Align vision with vibration. You can only manifest what your frequency can carry. Let's strip away the sugar. Vision isn't enough. Everyone has a vision. The dream, the lifestyle, the success. But what most people don't realize is this. Your vision doesn't belong to you unless your vibration can match it. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. And that's the painful gap no one talks about. The reason so many dreams stay locked in fantasy is because the person dreaming is too weak to carry the weight of what they asked for. They want financial freedom, but their vibration screams fear. They want power, but they vibrate with guilt, laziness, and imposter syndrome. They want to lead, but their energy still begs for permission to exist. You don't get to the top by wishing. You get there by alignment. And alignment means becoming the kind of person who lives in the frequency of your future. No pretending. No visualizing with tears in your eyes, but weakness in your actions. No feeling high for 5 minutes and then descending back into victimhood. You must live at the level of the life you want before it arrives. What is vibration? Vibration is not emotion. It's not hype. It's not positive energy or fake confidence. Vibration is your core frequency. It's the baseline of how you feel, speak, move, and think when you're not trying to impress anyone. It's your subconscious thermostat. It's your energetic credit score. And just like you can't buy a mansion with a 400 credit score, you can't manifest power, wealth, clarity, or purpose when your vibration is set to fear, guilt, and confusion. Your vibration determines what you're eligible for. So if you want more, you must become more. Why alignment is non-negotiable. Let's break this down clearly. You cannot manifest financial abundance with a vibration of poverty thinking. You cannot manifest a loyal partner while vibrating with shame and unworthiness. You cannot manifest a purpose-driven career while vibrating with indecision and fear of rejection. The universe does not listen to what you say. It listens to what you are. You want to attract more? You have to raise your floor, because your current self is only capable of sustaining what you have now. And that's the brutal truth. You're not yet worthy of what you want until you earn it energetically. That's not an insult. That's empowerment. Because the second you align, everything changes. How to align vision with vibration and unleash manifestation. 1. Identify the frequency of your desired life. What's the emotional, behavioral, and energetic frequency of the life you want? If you were already there, how would you walk? How would you talk? What decisions would you no longer tolerate? How would you respond under pressure? Get clear. Action steps. Describe in graphic detail the future version of yourself. Physically, mentally, emotionally, financially. What beliefs do they hold? What do they reject? What is their internal language? Their rituals? Their posture? This becomes your vibrational benchmark, not someday. Now 2. Measure your current vibration. Without ego. This is the humbling part. You must compare your current self to that future identity, without flinching. Not to judge yourself, but to see the gap. Action steps. Track your thoughts and emotions for 3 days. Highlight patterns of fear, anger, blame, guilt, shame, jealousy. Ask, would the future me tolerate this state for more than a second? Where there is misalignment, there must be recalibration. You don't close the gap with luck. You close it with embodied action. 3. Rehearse the future in the present. This is the principle that rewires the nervous system. You rehearse not as imagination, but as preparation. Walk as if. Speak as if. Decide as if. Action steps. Every morning, rehearse one situation from the lens of your future self. Visualize yourself handling stress, money, meetings, decisions, conversations from that higher identity. Then find one real-life opportunity to act from that frequency. Each time you do this, your vibration shifts. And over time, your frequency stabilizes at that new level. Now manifestation becomes automatic. 4. Eliminate low-frequency triggers. You can't align while still clinging to people, habits, and environments that lock you in the past. Your vibration is constantly being shaped by who you talk to, what you tolerate, where you spend your time, what you consume. Action steps. Create a low-vibe audit. List everything and everyone that lowers your standard. Cut ruthlessly. No explanation. No guilt. Replace with environments, voices, and rituals that feed your frequency. Your vibration is sacred. Don't give access to what poisons it. How this law reshapes your profession and finances. In your profession, this is the law that shifts you from employee energy to founder frequency. Most people operate in reaction, but high-vibe professionals operate from creation. They walk into meetings with certainty, not apology. They take bold action without begging for external validation. They don't hustle for approval. They create from identity. Your income will always reflect your vibration. Raise the vibe. Raise the value. In your finances, alignment means no longer operating from fear of not enough. Spending and investing from purpose, not panic. Attracting opportunities because your energy screams, ready. You want wealth? Start treating yourself like someone who already understands and respects money. Because money doesn't stay where it isn't honored, and abundance doesn't dwell where anxiety reigns. final words: embody or be eaten. If you don't live at the level of your vision, you will sabotage the very thing you're trying to manifest. You will repel what you crave. You will watch your desires rot on the vine because your frequency couldn't carry the weight. But not anymore. You now know the truth. You must rise to the frequency of your future before it arrives. No more fantasizing. No more hoping the universe comes through. You are the universe in motion. You are the frequency. You are the vessel. So, walk like it's already yours. Speak like it's already done. Execute like the world is catching up to you. And become the one who deserves the life. Not someday. Not eventually. Now. Law 7. Live with violent intentionality. Nothing changes until you move with purpose and fire. Let's finish this with fire. You've guarded the gates. You've rejected mental junk. You've built your rituals. You've filtered your inputs. You've commanded your inner voice. You've aligned your frequency. But if you don't act, none of it matters. Because the world doesn't care what you know. It doesn't care what you feel. It doesn't care what you envision. It only responds to one thing: action. And not casual action. Not hopeful action. Not, I'll do it when I feel like it action. Violent. Intentional. Relentless. Ruthless. Unapologetic. Focused. Unstoppable. Action. The kind that makes people uncomfortable. The kind that makes you uncomfortable. The kind that leaves no room for excuses, hesitation, or delay. This is the law that separates the warriors from the wounded. Because most people know what to do. They just never do it. They're paralyzed by the illusion of someday. They're addicted to planning. They're obsessed with watching others take the risks they fear. And they call it strategy. But it's fear, dressed up in productivity. You want change? Move. Now. With violence. With clarity. With no plan B. What is violent intentionality? It is spiritual warfare turned into motion. It is waking up and declaring, everything I do today will either build my future or betray it. There is no in-between. Violent intentionality means every word, every step, every breath is aimed. Nothing is random. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is allowed to slide. You don't scroll just because. You don't speak just to vent. You don't relax without earning it. You don't make decisions to survive. You make moves to dominate. You move like a weapon. You execute like a king at war. You walk into every space like you've already taken the throne. Because your energy doesn't ask. It commands. Why this law is the final unlock. You can master every other law. But if you don't live with violent intention, you'll stay stuck in potential. And potential is a coffin with gold trim. It looks good, but it holds the dead. There are people out there, less skilled than you, less experienced, less gifted, but they act harder. They move louder. They risk faster. So they win. Not because they're more deserving, but because they didn't wait to be. If you keep hesitating, someone else will build the life you were designed to claim. That should haunt you. How to practice violent intentionality in every area of life. 1. Set daily non-negotiables. This isn't a to-do list. This is a contract with yourself. Each day you choose 3 to 5 high-leverage actions, and you don't sleep until they are done. Not for ego, for evolution. Action steps. Each morning, write down 3 needle-moving actions aligned with your vision. Commit. These are done no matter what. These must be outputs, not inputs, not research, not brainstorming. Execution, implementation, Results. No exceptions. No excuses. No softness. 2. Move fast. Decide faster. The enemy of progress is hesitation. If you have to think about it for days, you've already lost momentum. Violent intentionality means you move without delay. You correct as you go, because progress is louder than perfection. Action steps. Adopt a 24-hour rule. No decision lives in limbo longer than a day. If it's aligned with the vision, do it. If it's not, delete it. Train your nervous system to move through resistance immediately. You're not trying to be careful. You're trying to be dangerous. 3. Eliminate soft language and soft thinking. Weak words weaken identity. Stop saying, "I'll try. Maybe. I'm just figuring it out. We'll see. I hope so." That's the vocabulary of victims. And every time you speak it, your subconscious accepts it as law. Action steps. Speak in commands. I will. I am. This gets done. I move now. Rewire your language to reflect your identity, not your fears. Declare your intentions out loud daily. If your mouth doesn't match your mission, your body never follows through. 4. Attack the day, like it owes you everything. You've wasted enough time. The world owes you nothing, but you owe your future everything. Stop approaching your goals like a polite beggar. Approach them like a warrior collecting what's already his. Action steps. Time block your day like a battlefield. Eliminate multitasking. Focus like a sniper. Begin each morning with the mindset. Today, I'm extracting results, not playing around. You don't hope to make progress. You hunt it. How this law impacts your profession and finances. In your profession, violent intentionality turns you from a follower into a force. No more waiting to be chosen. You make your own moves. You own your time. You close the deal. You speak with backbone. You lead with decisions. You don't need more certifications, more approvals, more validation. You need movement. You need self-directed velocity. In your finances, this is the law that breaks you out of one-day thinking. You stop saving without a plan. You stop spending without purpose. You stop waiting to feel ready to invest. You start studying wealth like a soldier studies terrain. You create strategy. You move capital. You multiply what you have without hesitation. You don't just want wealth. You take it. Final words. No more softness. No more delay. No more excuses. You've waited long enough. You've hesitated long enough. You've dreamed, journaled, prayed, consumed, prepared. Now, you move. Not because it's easy, because it's required. You execute because it's what warriors do. You act because your future is already watching. You build because your bloodline depends on it. So let the soft ones scroll. Let the spectators gossip. Let the talkers talk. You're too busy building the life they'll beg to understand. Violent intentionality isn't a mood. It's your new identity. Now go move like it. You wanted the truth. You didn't come here for comfort. You came here for clarity, for fire, for something real enough to wake the part of you that's been asleep in the fog. Well, here it is, raw and unfiltered. You are not confused. You are not unworthy. You are not lost. You've just been distracted, sedated, programmed, and lied to. But now, there are no more excuses. No more hiding behind the story. No more leaking energy into the pit of someday. You've been given the map. Not one built on fluff or fantasies, but on laws. Brutal, sacred, unbreakable laws forged in the battlefield of the mind. Law 1. Guard the gates. Let no thought pass unless it serves. Your mind is a fortress. Defend it or die inside it. Law 2. Reject mental junk food. What you consume, you become. And most of what the world feeds you is designed to keep you weak. Law 3. Build daily detox rituals. Every day the toxins return. So every day you purge, you sharpen, you rise again. Law 4. Direct your mental diet toward power. Input creates outcome. Feed yourself like a weapon, not a wanderer. Law 5. Master the inner dialogue. Your greatest threat has always lived between your ears. Rewire it, command it, or be destroyed by it. Law 6. Align vision with vibration. You attract nothing above the level of your frequency. Live as if it's already yours, or watch it fade forever. Law 7. Live with violent intentionality. You don't get what you wish for. You get what you hunt, what you demand, what you build with blood in your teeth and discipline in your soul. You now have the blueprint. But blueprints don't build empires. Action does. So here's the final warning. If you walk away from this and go back to normal, you are not a victim. You are not unlucky. You are complicit in your own failure. But if you integrate this, if you treat these laws as non-negotiable, if you execute like your life depends on it, because it does, then you will become unrecognizable. Not in 10 years, not when the time is right, but now, because now, you've remembered who you are. You are the gatekeeper. You are the weapon. You are the frequency. You are the executioner of the old self. You are the author of what comes next. No more softness. No more delay. No more begging the world to love a version of you that was never meant to survive. This is your moment of rebirth. Through discipline, through alignment, through relentless, violent, sacred intention. Now go build what no one can take from you. Go manifest what they said was impossible. And when they ask how you did it, tell them, I didn't do it by chance. I did it by law.